welcome back, everybody. It's Sarcasm Speaks still. It's Jared and Bob still in our world, in the real life right now. This is our third episode of the triple header. Um, it also happens to be episode 600, right? So I looked ahead of time and I was like, wow, we're gonna pre-record episode 600. We're gonna hit it. Um, So, I mean, yeah, it's cool, I guess. Happy 600 episodes, even though we've done more if you include all those degenerate specials that we did early on that focused only on sports betting. But yeah, um, I've got something that came up in a previous episode, although again, in the timeline of people listening to this, I it could be two and
I
a
don't even
half
know where
weeks
we're
ago.
at. I have no
I don't know
clue,
where
dude.
we are,
Like Bill,
but
actually, when I was talking to Bill the other day, he goes, "Oh yeah," no, he goes, "I was listening." He goes, "Yeah, I'll definitely help you with the deck." And I go, "Could have talked about that 3 weeks ago. I have no idea."
yeah, I have no idea, right? It happens all the time when I talk to people that listen to the show. They're like, "Oh, I got to that," and I'm like, "Cool, I don't even remember talking about that."
Especially right now.
Yeah, especially like this, right? When we do, we'll end up doing what, like 10 episodes over the span of like
Well,
two
dude, by the
weeks or
time,
something like
so
that.
when we record on Tuesday, we still have to do two, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like by the time we record that stuff and it comes out and you people hear it, I will
Oh
have been
yeah,
in Italy for 2 weeks.
yeah. You'll be back from Italy. Um, so yeah, again, in our real life timeline, this came up in a not so long ago episode, but who knows in your guys' timeline. But the reason I wanted to bring it up again is because just purely out of coincidence, it came up at work the other day because we got a new intern for this semester. So one of the days at lunch, we were just kind of like sitting, hanging out, whatever, talking about working, being in the world, like doing presentations, working with other people, right? Because he's seeing the project that I'm on now, and it's like kind of crazy, and just talking about it. And he made a comment, something along the lines of like, "Oh, well, I need to work a lot on my presentation skills or whatever because I'm an introvert." And I go,
There we have
oh
it.
boy, here we go. Right. Like again, we talked not that long ago,
This, I
people like
mean, that, yeah.
overblowing the whole introvert thing. So then one of my coworkers was like, "Oh yeah, like you can do this and that, and there's like some tips here and all that." And then my boss is like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not an introvert. Like I'm an extrovert," and like talking about all this. And I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm not really saying anything. And I'm just kind of like, okay, all right. Someone comes to me and they're like, "Well, you're clearly not introverted." And I go, "Okay, here we go." I go, "I am going to have to respectfully disagree with most of the things that all of you guys have said so far." And everyone just kind of looks at me and kind of like, "Oh, here we go." So like
Yeah.
my
Hey,
boss
this is what
gets it.
happens when you fucking go to the circus.
So
Like
like
you,
my
the
boss
you
gets it
get the
because
fucking clowns.
him and I have a pretty good relationship, and like we joke around a lot. Like we talk all the time. Like I talk to my boss almost every day. Like he's cool. Like he gets it, right? Like I don't pull any punches with him either. Like we talk straight to each other. And he goes, "All right, let's hear this one."
He goes, hold on. Goes to the popcorn machine.
Yeah. So I go, "I think that people hide behind the word introvert." And I go, "I think it is way overblown these days. And I think people have taken the word to mean something that it doesn't mean." Right. And they go, "Oh, what do you mean?" So I go, "Here's an example. Me, myself, naturally, I would consider myself an introvert." And everyone's like, "Oh, there's no way," right? Like all the stuff you do, you talk to people, like you're always running around, you're presenting all the time. You never seem to have any issues with all your presentations. Your presentations are great, like awesome. And I go, again, that's not what introvert means, right? So I looked it up and I have that here today. What is an introvert? Definition and guide to introversion. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but like basically, like I read parts of this to them, and I also go to summarize, right? If you want to know whether you're inherently introverted or extroverted, I will provide you with one scenario and you get to make a choice, right? You either get to sit at home by yourself on a Friday night and either watch a movie, play video games, read a book, maybe have a glass of wine or bourbon or whatever you're into, right? But you're completely by yourself. It's a Friday night. You're kind of doing your own thing. Or you can go out to a concert, a bar, a club, somewhere where there's a ton of people, drink, party, whatever. Which one of those sounds more appealing to you? And I could see like the light bulbs start to click in everyone. And they're like, oh, okay. And I go, that is what the whole introvert extrovert thing actually is. Where do you draw your energy from? Like, because there's some people, if you ask them to sit alone on a Friday night and watch a movie and drink a glass of bourbon, they're going to freak out and have a mental breakdown, right?
Right.
Because they need to go out to like a bar where there's people. They don't even need to like talk to anyone. You could just sit at a bar and just be around tens or hundreds of people, depending on the size of the bar. And you could just watch a sports game, drink your beer or your bourbon or your wine or whatever you're into. Like that brings you comfort, right? Being at a bar with a ton of people. Again, you don't even need to talk to people, right? The whole talking to people thing is different. And I'll get into this in a second, which is what I pulled from this article that I have. I go, the whole talking to people thing means nothing when it comes to introvert, extrovert. It's where do you draw your energy from? And it's more of a biological thing, not to make it a biology lesson, but it's like, where do you get your serotonin from, right? Or your dopamine, whichever one it is. Like your brain produces like the feel good chemical, right? And it's like, what actions produce that chemical for you, right? Again, is it the sit by yourself on the couch and do nothing on a Friday night effectively? Or is it go to a concert, right? Like maybe you go to a concert with only three other people, right? Or maybe one other person. So you're only with one person, but you're at a concert with thousands of people. And like that just gives you juice, right? Like it just makes you feel good. There's certain people that if you ask them to do that, they're going to freak the fuck out. That does not sound fun to them at all.
I love concerts.
Exactly. Right. So I go, if you ask me that question right now, what would I rather do on a Friday night? I would rather sit at my house and watch a movie and drink a glass of bourbon. I go, if you told me, hey, I got tickets to a fucking a Zeppelin concert on Friday night at the Comcast Center, I would
The
be like,
originals, we dug them up.
yeah, yeah, the originals, right? They're back from the dead. I would be like, I don't know. Probably, yeah. Like I'll go, and that's my thing too. Is like I'll go and do these things. Like I, I'll go out. Like I'm not a fucking hermit, right? But like it's one of those again. It's where do you draw your energy from? So it's if you go out and do something, like when you get home, what happens, right? Because there's people that go out and go to a bar or go to a concert or go to a comedy show or something like that, and like when you get home, are you all jazzed up, like you want to run around and like do stuff? Or do you want to just sit on the couch and fucking de-stress because you were just around a shitload of people for so long, right? Like that's how you figure that out. Like that's what that means. And everyone was like, "Oh, like I never thought of it like that. Like I always thought like it was this or that." And I go, "That brings me to my second point, which was great for this." And I go, there's a title in this article where it says, "Are introverts shy?" And I go, "Here's your answers, folks. Some introverts are," and this is from like a psychology website. So it goes, some introverts are, and some introverts aren't. This is probably the single most misunderstood thing about being an introvert. right? The truth is, being shy and being an introvert are two totally different things. Fucking mind blowing, right? And everyone's like, "Oh wow, like I never thought of it like that." And I go, "Yeah, of course not." And I go, this isn't in this article, but I go, it's more like the actual, I forget what it is. I couldn't remember it then either. But I was like, I think it's like the Stanford personality test. Remember like we did the mental golf type, like the
Yeah, I was gonna say,
ENTP?
yeah.
Like,
So the only, yeah, it's like the Harris Benedict formula for
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
personality
yeah,
types.
yeah.
No, I looked it up earlier. So I like because that's what came to me first. I'm like, oh, the Harris Benedict test. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, isn't that a mathematical formula?
The Harris Benedict equation is to find out your caloric output for a
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Okay, so it's caloric input
Yeah.
or output.
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs
Myers-Briggs. Yeah, it's
is
the
one of them. I think
Myers-Briggs
this. I want to
personality
say there's
test.
like four big ones. Myers-Briggs is a big one.
Yeah.
And that's
Um,
so truthfully, that's my only experience with this because one, psychology, not my cup of tea. Like I took two psychology classes in college and I couldn't have been more fucking lost. It's almost like
yeah.
algebra one. Um, like lost. And the way that they summed it up was introverts. They use like two things because obviously they're dumbing it down for golf product, not for
Right.
academics.
Right.
Where do you draw your energy from, like you said? But also, where does your stress come from?
Right.
And people don't always know that, and they don't always get that. So it's like, for me, it's interesting that I mean, again, going back to the last episode, it's like definitely should have been an electrician because I would have fucking come home and I'd be fine. But
Yeah.
like because I'm talking and interacting and I'm surrounded by music and people all day, like when I get
Yeah.
home, like, dude, it's tough. Like I gotta unwind. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah.
doing this, like I'm sometimes I'm just like I'm still wired from talking, but like I'm also like, bro, like need to fucking calm down
Right.
because it's like like as far as like neurology is concerned, it's a stressor.
Exactly.
It's also why I'm not good in group projects, which is also why Michaela, when we're installing microwaves and ceiling fans, she's just like, "What can I do? How
Yeah.
can I help? Where do you
Yeah.
want me to go?"
Yeah.
Because then I don't say anything and I just get fucking pissed. I start flipping the fuck out.
Yeah, I do the
And
exact same
it's
shit.
never at her,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's because I'm better finding a solution to a problem myself. I'll go to Google. I will look up YouTube. I'll try
Exactly.
things. I will fucking break things. I'll fuck things up and fix them like whatever. My business partner, the cuntiest of Chris's, he would rather go to each and every other person. Hey, do you know how to do this? Do you have this? Do you
Right.
like who do we know that's an electrician? Have you ever changed a ceiling fan? Do you have an air conditioner? I like if I needed an air conditioner, yes, I would still ask some people, but like my first move, how much do they cost?
Exactly.
Lowe's, Home
Yeah.
Depot.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Then it's like maybe Facebook Marketplace. And then maybe I back off and go, all right, who do I know? I'll keep my ears open. Maybe someone's got one.
Right.
He instantly goes to like, who do we know? Who's got one? Where can I get one? Whatever. Same thing like with the ceiling fan. Like he would never just hop up. Like his first move is never just to hop up there and just start like figuring it out. It's to call his father-in-law, call his uncles. Like, do you know how to do it? Okay, what are you doing this afternoon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, why don't you come on over? Knowing that they'll do it for him. Like, and that was in his
Right.
personality type. Like, because it's much more complicated than just introvert extrovert. Like, well, there's way more into it. But
Right.
yeah, it's like so like there's a few ways to determine it. It's like, would you rather do a group project or would you rather just do the work by yourself? Would you rather stay at home on Friday night or would you rather go out?
Right.
Um, when you go out and you come back, are you just fucking wrecked or do you feel good? Like
Right. Right.
after a day of work, like are you exhausted every single fucking day? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an introvert in an extroverted job. Like if you're an
Right.
extrovert in a fucking introverted job, like working by yourself, these people are probably ready to fucking jump off a bridge.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's a
And that's
good
like
point
that's
too
and
about like where your stress comes from
yes,
also
because
too.
and
Because
that's
it's
where he
like
made the
for
point
me,
because
like the more people there are around, like the more stressful the situation gets for me, right? It's
yeah,
just like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of fucking side conversations going on. It's like I don't know, maybe that's like partly my autism, but like I like if I'm in an area, right? And there's six different conversations going on and I'm not explicitly involved in one of them, right? Like if I'm involved in a conversation with someone, I'm focusing on that one person. But if I'm not involved in any conversation and there's six other conversations going on around me, I start to freak out a little bit because I'm like there's way too much fucking going on right now. Like I cuz I can hear again, maybe this is autism talking here, but like I can hear every conversation
what are
that's
you fucking
happening.
Daredevil?
And I'm like, what is going on right now? Like this is way too, it's like sensory overload to me. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like there's too many people are talking. I need
Yeah,
to
and,
like
like
stare at my phone and read something. Like I'm just gonna Google like how to Google things, right? Like I just need to do something.
well, so that's like because the biggest one that I've noticed too. I mean, obviously, because it's like man, a few words over here, as I've been since I was fucking 2 years old, pediatrician, fucking giving my mother shit. Um, but like even when I go in the morning, like I'm not ready to go yet. Like in the mornings,
Yeah,
not ready to go.
right.
But like I go in and it's like, hey, 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 music, music, lights. It's like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
So I just walk in, Tom, Chris. Like I just kind of like say everyone's first name and I just go to the back and I'm like, oh boy,
Yeah.
we need to fucking rev
Yeah.
this up.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I was telling people, right? Like that, I called it like the Stanford personality test, but now I know for sure it's the Myers-Briggs personality. Like that is the more accurate interpretation of your personality. And it's not as simple as introvert, extrovert, right? Like it's the INTP or ENTP or INFJ or, you know what I mean? Like there's two, I'm not going to do the math of how many permutations there are for four letters with two options on each one, right? It's probably like 36 different um, possible results, right? That there could be. Um, so it's like that's more accurate. But so what I said here, right? And there's two bullet points here, and I go, this describes the whole thing in a nutshell. And I go, well, I don't go, I read. I read this. And I go, being shy means you get very nervous and self-conscious in social situations. Both introverts and extroverts can have this trait. Not all natural born extroverts run around chatting with strangers. So you can be an extrovert and you can be shy because shyness is more self-consciousness, right? Like you don't have the self-confidence, you're like, oh, what am I doing in social situations? You're just kind of nervous, right? Like you can be either or, right? That's being shy. Being introverted means socializing wears you out. You might not be nervous or shy at all. In fact, many introverts enjoy socializing, and they put in parentheses, as long as it's meaningful, right? And some even get misidentified as ambiverts, right? Which is like this whole new thing. Or like the ambivert person is both.
What, you can turn left?
Yeah, yeah. Or extroverts. But since it will eventually tire you out, you probably avoid extra social time where you can. And I go, again, that's that's me, right? Like I don't avoid social situations. Like I have no problem talking to people. Again, I'm not shy, right? But like my energy gets sucked out when there's like a lot of people around and it's a big social situation and shit like that, right? Like the yeah, anything like that, right? Like so like the last week at work, right, where I'm kind of running around and there's a million things going on at once because we're moving all of this crazy equipment and stuff. I ran into the same thing. Like I have three other people there that I work with. They're like, "What can I do to help?" And I go, "I don't know." Like stand over there and like catch stuff as it comes off the elevator and like direct it to where it needs to go. Right? Like they're like, "All right, well, is there anything else?" And I go, "I'll let you know in the
Get the
moment."
fuck out of my way.
Right?
That's usually my answer is like you can get the fuck out of my way, which that should be on the personality test, in my opinion,
Yeah.
is like you're moving into a house I mean, maybe that's just relevant. So like I was bringing boxes in yesterday, and Michaela's been feeling like shit too, like this whole time. So like, installing the microwave, doing the ceiling lights, but like
Right.
it's also boxes. So it's like I'm getting the boxes for her. She feels like shit. I'm not gonna make her carry fucking boxes. If she had, because she was just hanging out, like, so if she had said like, I need me to do anything, yep, you can just sit there and hang out. I got this. I got a system. I got a way that's blocking the door so Leo can't get out.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
I'm on it.
So yeah.
But if it's like, if you're the type of person, it's like, yeah, everyone grab a box. Let's make a line. Let's roll.
Yeah, it's certainly not me either.
Nope.
But
Yeah, I think, and again, like that's the other thing too, is I think, almost like a detrimental way too, people are probably hiding like anxiety and depression as like introversion
I
too.
think that's a great point. And
Like, if
I
just
think a
because,
lot
like,
of
if you,
anxiety and depression is going undiagnosed as introversion.
yeah, like if you walk into a new place and you're like, oh, I don't know where to go and I don't know anybody here and whatever, it's like, it has nothing to do with introversion, extroversion. It's just
Exactly.
anxiety about being in a new place.
Yeah.
And then there's like clinical anxiety and clinical depression
Right. Right.
that need to be addressed. And you can't just say, oh, well, you are introverted. It's like, no, I was kind of thinking about harming myself
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's more than that.
Yeah, that was one of the things Joan said to me, to pull from the previous episode where my meeting went too long. My 4:30 meeting went almost 2 hours. So I'm like sending him the Snapchats of my work phone of like the Zoom call or whatever. And he goes, just tell everyone you're gonna kill yourself. And I go, dude, imagine if I just came off mute and I go, if we don't end this meeting right now, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And just to like see what would happen. Because he gets it too, right? Because
Wouldn't be
he's in the
good, dude.
he's
It
in the
would not
corporate
be good for
world.
you.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be.
Would not be good for
It
you
wouldn't be good, but it would be absolutely hilarious.
until someone showed up at your door being like, I'm here to help. And it's like, I don't need help. It's like,
Right.
you're getting it.
But I go to
So,
because then like me and him were texting, right? And I go, you have to do it completely deadpan. Like you
right.
have to sound like you mean it, right? Like you just need to come off mute real quick and just go, if we don't end this meeting right now, I'm going to kill myself. And then go back on mute.
It's so insulting to people that are actually dealing with that.
It is. Yeah, it's a
But it used to,
terrible
I
thing to
mean,
joke about, but I mean, it's still funny.
yeah. Because I mean, that's the funny. People still say it now, and I do laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, right? Like it's okay to laugh at fucked up things.
Pretty much what's gotten me to where I am now.
Yeah. I think I sent you that meme, right, about being from the Northeast.
Maybe,
Um
probably, I don't
I
know.
should be able to find it really quick because I also sent it to Mitch. Shout out to Mitch, friend of the show. Um yeah. So it's it's a picture of so it's a tweet, right? It's a picture of a screenshot of a tweet, and it has to do with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck splitting up again. And there's a quote here from Jennifer Lopez where she says, Ben has a darkness to him that no other person can fix. So Jennifer Lopez source slams Affleck, whatever. And then so the screenshot is like a reply to that. And it goes, this is just the plight of all men from Massachusetts. Every man I know here has this. Yeah. Yeah. Every man from Massachusetts has some sort of darkness to him that it's just not going to go away, right? It's just from living here. I don't know what it is. Probably because 6 months out of the year it's borderline inhabitable.
I just figured, I don't know, we're all fucked.
Well, yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
weird up here because it's like
It's dark, it's cold.
this might actually go back a little bit to like a little bit of like the education too, because it's like we question religion up here. Like people
Mm,
down south, like it's like things ain't great. I'll just go to
yeah.
church. I'll church this one out.
Yeah.
We're up here like,
God will fix all my problems.
what did
Jesus, take the wheel.
fuck? I saw something today. Oh, it was the rugby strength coach. He said something. Oh my God, it was about Notre Dame, right? So I think their starting quarterback had cancer when he was a kid or something.
Oh, Jesus.
It's such a fucked up joke, dude. Like I think it was I'm gonna try to see if I can find it quick. Um yeah, maybe it wasn't him, but he tweeted something after they lost. And he goes, I don't know if it's a childhood cancer or losing to fucking Northern Illinois, but maybe God isn't looking out for you.
Uh,
And I don't know who it was in reference to. Like I don't know if the quarterback like dealt with that as a kid or something. I'm
yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
fucking brutal. Brutal. But we sit there and laugh. You say that to someone from Georgia, they're gonna be horrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like horrified.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, that's good. It's good humor.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's fucking great. I love that shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
fucked
like
up.
religion probably has something to do with it because we do, there's people around here, right? Like there's still like hardcore Catholics, right? It's like you go to say something like, oh, you make a joke and it's like the gasp, like, oh my God, you
Yeah.
can't say
But
that. And it's like, come on,
it
like,
feels
fucking
different
get
up here.
over it.
It feels different up here. And I don't know if it's Catholicism versus like Baptists or whatever,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
that's true. That's a good point.
the Protestants, I don't know much about it, but
Yeah,
it just seems like even up here, like devout Catholics
yeah,
still understand the other side.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's the other way around in other places.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If you're in like a small county or a small community, like everyone's going to that church.
Right, right,
Like, this is our parish. This is where we go. Like,
right.
this is who we see. Like when they run into you, like, oh, you from around here? No, I just moved in. It's like, oh, cool. Where's your parish? Like that's the type of shit they ask.
Right.
Not up here, fucking Fantasyland.
Just making random jokes about weird shit.
Well, no, I mean, like when I say up here is Fantasyland, like just look around Massachusetts and be like, this isn't a fucking like, this isn't a real civilization. Like the shit that happens here. Like this is a joke.
We've removed lanes for cars for bikes and
Yeah,
buses.
and traffic couldn't be any worse.
Yeah. And we sit here and wonder, oh, how does Boston keep getting named the worst city in the country year after year for traffic?
Well, you can't drive it into it. You can't
I
drive
know what
out
we
of
need
it.
to
You
do.
can't drive
We need to
while
make
in
more
it.
bike lanes. If we had more bike lanes, traffic would get better
And then it's
because
like,
that would
well, if
incentivize people to ride bikes.
and then if more
That
people took
would,
well, first of all, winter. That's my counter
yeah,
argument.
yeah. Again, remember that 6 months of being borderline inhabitable? Yeah,
Yeah. And then it's like, well, if more people just took public transit, there'd be less cars on the road. I think some people would like to, but the MBTA never runs.
yeah. It's always on fire.
It's always on fire and shut down. And like even right now, like it's like just less cars on the road. Well, if you want to go from Braintree to fucking South Station, you got to get off the fucking train and get on a bus and fucking sit in traffic to get back on the train.
Yeah, yeah. It's wild.
That's where we're at.
But yeah, you're an introvert though.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Introverts.
No, dude, you're just shy.
Or you just don't
Or you
want to
have
do certain
anxiety.
things.
That's the other thing too. You just don't want to do it, right? Which is also perfectly acceptable. Like it's a
Yeah.
perfectly acceptable thing to sit there and be like, I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
right? Like it's fantastic. That was one of those things like back like when we were living together and like we would go out, like if me and Dickie were going to meet everyone in Boston or whatever, we'd be like, hey, you want to come? And you'd be like, nah. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'd be like, all right, cool, man. No big
Yeah.
deal. Like, awesome. Like, I remember being like, I fucking love, like, I wish I could do that shit. I was like, I love that.
Yeah,
Should be
I'm
like,
good.
nah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going.
Oh,
Fuck you. Which now that I'm older, that I definitely do that. There's shit where like, people are like, oh, hey, you do this or that. And I'm like, no, no. It's easier now though, too, with a kid. You're like, nah, sorry, I can't make it happen.
yeah.
Can't pull it off.
That's the thing is like here's another one. Here's how to tell if you're introverted or extroverted. Someone asks you to do something, anything, even if you want to do it, and your first thought is, Jesus Christ, what do I have that day that's going to get in the way? And then usually it's like, oh, well, what time? It's like, oh, not till like 1. It's like, fuck, can't use work.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm going.
Yep. Yep.
I could come up with my own personality test. I should create and publish my own personality test, and I'll tell you exactly what you are.
Yeah, you could be so it's introvert, extrovert, shy, not shy, people hating or people loving. Those are your 3 points that you test on.
Oh, so we would probably be not quite like a DNA strand, but there would be more letters involved because it would be like asshole, not asshole,
Right.
retard, not retard,
Yeah.
cunt,
Yeah.
not cunt.
Yep.
There's a lot
Yep.
of things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, well, you want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
Put a bow on episode 600. Are
Yeah,
you
and
introverted?
I'm just tying up all loose ends.
Yeah.
So I actually used my wood chipper probably for like an hour the other
Oh,
day.
let's fucking go.
So electric wood chipper from Sunjo Mojo Jojo. And so it's electric. It only like do the diameter on it is not big. Like I'm mostly like my vision for what was gonna go in this wood chipper are things that if you look at it and go, is that a stick? Yes. And then it's like, is it a branch? Mm, maybe. It's like, okay.
It's
Could
like a
it
flow
sustain
chart.
could it sustain a fire? If the answer is yes, it won't fit. If your answer is nah, probably not. Probably fits. Um, so yeah, just cleaning up like all the twigs and all the shit in my yard. So, I mean, for an electric wood chipper, $200, like I was pretty fucking happy with it. And like the mulch that comes out, it's not mulch. Like like that because that's the thing. It's like, oh, you get your own wood chipper. You got free mulch for the season. Only if you want your mulch to look like a bunch of shredded up fucking sticks and twigs. Like that's all it is. Like that's all it's doing. But for me, with the way like the property is, I can use these mulch to go around some of the trees that are like out back. Like you wouldn't put it out front in like
Yeah, yeah.
the front facing stuff. Or if I make enough of it, I'll just make a lot of mulch and I'll spread it flat and Leo can go piss and shit over there.
Yeah,
Like I've got the space and like my yard is where my yard is and then there's trees and I've still got the room like within the trees. Like
right, right.
it will look okay if I just lay it flat. So I started just by throwing it around one of the trees. I don't know, whatever. Um so yeah, I mean for 1 hour's worth of work, still runs and so far so good.
Is it on battery or is it plug in?
Nah, plug.
Okay.
I don't know if they make any battery ones. So I think you can get gas or you can get electric, and I think all the electrics are plugs, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because I feel like a battery powered wood chipper, like you'd shred like 3 branches and the battery would not be
Well,
strong
I mean they
enough.
they do
Not that
make
it would be
battery.
dead, but it wouldn't have enough juice to like keep going.
I think that's probably it. Like there's not a because I mean, they make battery lawnmowers, so
Yeah,
like
but
ride-on mowers,
those have six batteries in them. I got an ad for one the other day on Instagram.
right? But
So it's like like a drill battery. There's six
yeah,
of them that you click in.
yeah, dude. That's so I bought. Remember the chainsaw I got? That was
Yeah,
Greenworks.
yeah,
Greenworks makes those things. So I
yeah,
bought a battery weed whacker. I have a battery pole trimmer. I'm buying all battery shit. I'm not dealing with gas.
yeah.
And Bill said I can use his riding mower, so he can deal with gas. I'll pitch in or I'll go get gas for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like
Make sure you get a license plate for that.
wasn't gonna.
Can't drive it
Oh,
on the
because we have to
street.
drive on the road, yeah. Um, and that's the thing is like if he says like, hey, do you want to help me winterize this thing? Well, if I'm going to use it to cut, yes, I will help you winterize. I don't know how to do it, but
Right, right.
right now I just don't have any places for that, and he already has one, so
Yeah.
I don't need gas things. But yeah, so pretty solid. I don't, but I feel as though you only need it if you have either a lot of stuff already down or if you intend on bringing a lot of stuff down. Like
Right.
you probably don't need one unless you were going to clear out the stuff outside your fence.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I just throw shit in the woods. Like I don't
Yeah,
need
because
to
well,
ship
not
wood
even
to.
that. Like the stuff that falls in your yard, like kind of isn't big enough
Right.
because it's literally just like sticks and twigs.
Right.
And like, yes, it shreds kind of
Yeah.
because it's like almost too small to fit in between the teeth sometimes. Um, but that's the thing is like you don't have stuff like that. Like for me right now, it's like I am cutting tree limbs down. I am cutting shit down. There is
Right.
shit already down. Like I don't know if I'm going to use it a lot in 2 years, but I'm probably going to use it a lot like for now.
Right. Right.
And then to like rent one, it's like I'd have to make a giant fucking stack. I'd have to wait for it all to dry out.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
I would have to get it onto the lawn. Like it's a whole thing. I'll just do it my because that's the thing is I'll just use my system where if it fits, it chips, and if it doesn't fit, if it's too big,
And it's for
then
fire.
it's firewood,
Yep.
and I should be good for I don't know 2 fires because I throw way too much in there.
Just had my first fire of the whole year yesterday. It's kind of nice
Yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna actually put my
because it's
fire.
been like the summer, it's been like too humid outside. Like I don't want to sit outside in the fucking humidity and then have a fire right in front of me. Like that's dumb. Right. So we're entering peak fire season now that it's fall. You get cool nighttime. So I do love a good fire. But yeah, so my final thought is something disgusting that Jones has been sending me is Major League Eating, like all of the records. He's like, dude, check this out. This one's fucking gross. So like each one seems to be worse and worse. So if you go to majorleagueeating.com, they list like all of their title holders and like what it's for. The one that potentially could be the grossest, again, I haven't gone through the whole list, but the one that I think is grossest for now is butter. There is a major league eating contest for sticks of butter. And the record or the title holder is 7 quarter-pound sticks of salted butter in 5 minutes. So someone, and not someone, his name is Don Lerman. So Don
Someone.
Lerman is the record holder for eating 7 quarter-pound sticks of butter in 5 minutes. That's pretty fucking gross, dude. That's more than a stick of butter a minute.
There's only one substance that I can think. There are grosser substances, but there's one substance that is the grossest thing that I'm sure that they have, and it's mayo. And I'm sure there's a fucking
Oh yeah, I'm
a
sure it's
figure for
on there
that.
somewhere.
So fucking gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you eat seven. I mean, at least it's only 5 minutes and it's only seven. I say that it's only seven sticks. Like, if you gave that dude like 12 minutes, like
Yeah.
14, 20 sticks of butter, it's
Yeah.
5 pounds of butter, isn't it? 20
Yeah.
sticks.
A quarter pound stick. So he ate seven of them. So he ate almost
Almost
two
2 pounds
pounds of butter
in five
in
minutes.
5 minutes
Probably good on calories for the day.
for the week.
Probably fucking. Do you think competitive eaters need like crazy toilets? They have to.
They have to. I also have a feeling that some of them probably have like wild like exercise routines too. Like I feel like Joey Chestnut like just runs like all day or like walks or like rides bike like cycles all the time. Like I feel like he's always doing something because otherwise he would be like fucking 600 pounds.
Probably dead, but
Yeah.
I just 7 sticks of butter. That's not gonna sit in a stomach. I'm sorry.
No.
That's coming out with a fucking vengeance.
Oh yeah. So I did find the Mayo one.
Oh God, fuck that.
A fellow named Oleg Zorniski
So
ate
gross.
four, four 32-ounce bowls of mayo in 8 minutes.
The gallon.
That's a gallon of mayonnaise.
It's a gallon of mayo in how long? 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, some of these are pretty fucking gross.
Ugh.
But I think butter and mayo is probably,
Mayo is far and away the most gross.
yeah,
Outside of like something like unless it's like fear factor shit, I can't think of anything that's
yeah,
gonna be fucking nastier than mayo. Because the other thing, it's like it's not a food, it's a fucking condiment. Like
right,
same with butter, it's like a cooking oil. Like what the
right,
fuck are we doing here?
right.
Like, oh, I ate fucking solidified bacon fat. It's like, fuck is wrong with you?
But they quite literally have a record for almost everything on
Everything.
Major League Eating. Like they have a record for jambalaya. It's
That's
9 pounds in 10 minutes, in case you were
that's a
wondering.
shitload of jambalaya, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
9 pounds of jambalaya in 10
That's so
minutes.
much jambalaya.
Yeah. Yeah, they have them for all of them. Turducken, candy bars, reindeer sausage, corned beef sandwiches. Like it's literally like anything you can think of, there's a Major League Eating record for it. Cranberry sauce, the jellied kind. So out of the can, canned cranberry sauce, 13.2 pounds in 8 minutes.
I mean, at least that
Yeah.
it's like Jello. I mean, so it's like I will
Yeah. Yeah.
like that one's
That's
just like Jello. So it's like that's not even remotely bad. I mean, you we crush it for it being a shitty holiday food.
right.
But yeah, if it was like, oh, someone ate this many pounds of Jello, it's yeah, okay. It's like, oh, cranberries, same thing.
Same thing. So yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jones. Shout out to Jones for showing me gross stuff. But yeah, so that's it. That's gonna do it. The marathon is over for us. That's the triple header. Put a bow on it.
I feel like shit. Must because I'm
Yeah.
so introverted.
Oh yeah, dude, probably. That's why. Um that's episode 600 too. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe up above, hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy. Um 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes, please and thank you. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm underscore speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. Website is sarcasmspeaks.com. Check out the show notes below. Support the sponsors. Follow those links. Get some cool shit. Save some money. And yeah, until next time, good night, everybody.